Hey guys, this is D&D, aka Dark Frozen Depths, and this is like a side video, I guess, for Kamihime Project, because we're still in the middle of the one event where we're actually trying to get retweets and all that. Now, from what I've seen, we've gotten all the well, I should say listed Magic Jewel prizes, and that's the other thing too. There's still the bugbear at Dawn if you manage to get to 1500, but we're sitting at like 1K, and I don't know how much time is left. I don't think we have much time left. Also, don't mind this. I'm ML grinding some experience points for some of my characters right now too. But the whole thing with this is the fact that, again, keep in mind, there's a few things with this Dawn that I do need to point out. Hence why anybody seeing this video definitely needs to spread word about her. Now, for those that want to see the scene, that's all fine and good. Be quite honest, that's honestly not one reason why I go after her, because of the fact that she does indeed give magic jewels. So that's the reason why you want her, not the scene itself, but the fact that she gives magic jewels to people. Now, a reason why you would definitely go after her, on top of maybe some extra magic jewels, is the simple fact that the thing is, she's got a pretty strong Adorn effect. I think it's 15% more attack and HP to dark characters, which is not a bad start, really. And when I looked up the info on her, apparently if you get more break limits, that can go up to 35% attack and HP on dark characters. Now, that's a pretty strong effect, if you ask me. So that's the whole main thing with that. Personally speaking, I think it'd be a waste not to get her anyway. She's free. Just go get her. But that's the whole thing with that. It's just the fact that she might seem underwhelming because she's SR, but she's honestly a little bit underrated. Now, is she like comparable to SSR characters? Not until she starts getting break limits. It's the same case with Diablos, the one Adorn that we do all have and probably won't ever have again. But I hope we do. Because here's the whole thing with Diablos. It's the same case with her. Her, the data they got for her max, break limit is insane. Because she'll give every character, regardless of who they are, 30% more HP and 30% more attack power if she gets max break limit. That's what makes Diablos so good. So Diablos and Bugbears in pretty much the same boat. That's SSR level type increases, like event SSR type increases, and those are pretty good. Because keep this one thing in mind. While there is like strategy guides and whatnot that suggest, oh, go after this character, or go after this one, or try to get this one, or try to get this one, majority of them involve going to the premium gacha, and if you're a free player, you're only getting up with magic jewels and tickets. So chances are you're not pulling half the stuff you're going to see anyways. Granted, I have all my Kamihime, like all my SSR Kamihime and a lot of my other ones from the premium gacha, because I'm actually a paying player. That's the whole thing with this. If you're entirely free, you're going to be extremely gimped in your arsenal, so you might want to actually try and get all the free stuff you can. Even still, they're talking about extra prizes because they've got 4,000 followers. We may not even get them if you don't get the 1,500 retweets, so you want to make sure your chances are good. So I just had to point that out about this retweet thing, because that's a major thing with that one. Now, second thing I gotta point out with this, there's been a lot of gachas that's been popping up. And the whole thing with that is the fact that, well, currently, right now, I can't pull them anyways. I don't have the money for it. But big thing is the fact that they do seem to be shuffling around quite a few gachas. So you might want to pay attention to what's there for anybody that is a paying player. Because hands down, I'll be doing the anniversary one that's like 5,000 Nutaku gold, where I can get roughly, let's see, I think 1,500 magic jewels, a whole bunch of elixirs, and then on top of that, I would also get I think it was a SSR guaranteed. It doesn't necessarily mean it'd be like a Kamihime or a Dawn, but it's still SSR. And gacha SSR stuff is stronger than the event one, so. But that's the whole thing with that. Pay attention to these gachas. You'll eventually find something that might interest you if you haven't already. So that's one thing to really keep in mind. And then the biggest thing too is the fact that, am I really saying to go out of your way to pay for stuff? No, but at the same time, like I said, you're extremely gimped if you don't. And of course, games do need money to survive, so it's kind of like a double-edged effect. Like, for instance, you know that all these games in Nutaku are pretty much like, they mainly get their money from the players, of course, obviously. But it also costs money to keep them running. So, that may or may not have happened to a few games already. But the whole thing with that is the fact that you have to pretty much try to, you have to do what you can in order to try and keep it thriving. So, even if it's not paying for it, like, spread word to get other people jumping in on it so it could stay around longer. But that's the whole thing with that. It's like, the main thing about all this is just to spread word. Because this is a very enjoyable game. It's one of the most enjoyable ones I've seen in a long time. And that said, you have to try and do your best to try and keep it moving, keep it thriving. So, that's why I kind of wanted to make this video, just my opinion on the matter. And then, like I said, it's cool if you don't want to add money to the game, because, especially right now, it's very good towards everybody, even free players. Later down the line, there might be some more stuff like that anyways, but how are we going to make it that far if things aren't thriving? Now, granted, it's not just this game, too. I also would like to see the whole other games like Flower Knight Girl get a lot more attention, too, because I believe that game's honestly underrated, and you can keep running through it very quickly. In fact, aside from my my 6-star girls and Flower Knight Girl, I'm entirely free. Aside from that, I'm entirely free. So I only really did guaranteed gacha girls. That's it. I didn't buy no flower gems. I didn't try to get extended slots through paying. None of that. So that said, it's like, honestly, look at it as if I sat up and pretty much lucked out and pulled a lot of 6 stars. But the whole thing is, it's like, I would like to see that game thrive more. I'd like to see this one thrive more. Because we got a lot of content on this game way later down the line. We're getting pretty close to the point where we even get the additional raid bosses where we can start getting weapons for the souls. And I heard Artanion's weapon is pretty strong. I heard Mordra's is really good too. I think Arthur gets an extremely good one. But that's the whole thing. It's like, we gotta make it far enough in order to actually get all this stuff. Personally, I'd love to at least see the Tower of Malice before we even get shut down on this side, because it'll eventually happen. I'm just hoping it's not anytime soon. Because the Tower of Malice was a content edit where it pretty much took the difficulties of everything in the game and moved them into one straight set. Now, that's the whole thing with this too. Currently, right now, the toughest difficulty we have is maybe soloing a Ragnarok event raid if you're on your own. Other than that, I would say it'd be the rank 4 accessory quest. Not even Ragnarok level is like as tricky as those guys are, because it's like tossing Ragnarok difficulty, but they got way more HP. So that's what that is. But that's a quick little thing I wanted to say about that. It's like, we have a lot more content later down the line, and I'd at least love to see that one too. I'm pretty sure others would too. Guild orders is going to be insane because of the fact that we're talking bosses that have millions of HP, like 7 million, 10 million. I've seen 12 million on one before because they made them tanky. Even normal enemies have like, I think a million HP. So at that point in the game, you definitely want to be hitting a lot harder. So that's the whole thing with that one. And I think even paying players will have trouble at that point. It's like they intentionally made it so it's like, okay, yeah, you're going to get your behind walls. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. It's like, just keep giving the game your support, at the very least playing it. So, and why not play it right now anyways? I've gotten so many magic jewels that I've shot up to 6,000. And before a lot of the, like, they've been handing them out for a while, not just on the anniversary thing, but before it, and I was only at about, I'd say 300. So, yeah. But last thing I also got to point out, too, is the fact that, now, I mentioned before that I'm a scene hunter, meaning that any of these girls that do manage to get in pool, I'd go shooting for their scenes or whatever, especially considering the fact that, as you should know at this point, unless you're, like, entirely new, Kamihime have their abilities locked behind the first scene. Like, some of their better abilities are locked behind the first scene. It was the case with, Amon's SSR version, which I just recently pulled. She's got a strong defense down, the strongest in the game. And it's locked behind her first scene. Yeah, I got a lot of half elixirs too from this current event. But anyways, like, even if you're not a scene hunter, there's still two reasons why you should be trying to unlock them anyway. One is for extra magic jewels, because everybody hands them out at some point. Except for our Kamihime. They're the only ones that don't. If they're SR and above on Kamihime, or they're an Adon that comes with a scene, or soul, they all hand them out. That's the whole thing about that. But at the same time, too, is the simple fact that, again, I have them, why not look at it? It's part of the reason why I play the .NET side anyways, because it's got way more games, and then on top of that, they're, like, completely uninhibited. Even if you play the .com side, you still aren't limited. You just won't see the scene itself. You'll still get the stuff from it, but you won't see the scene itself. And quite frankly, anybody that's curious about all the scenes and everything, I can post the links to where I actually downloaded most of them from the DMM version. They're just censored, so. But it's a huge, huge archive of them. Somebody did their best to try and rip them from the DMM game. And that's the whole thing with why this side still has some weight too, because, again, we get uncensored, they don't. So, anybody that doesn't like censorship, then, hey, guess what? We still have our side. Now, if you learn how to rip them from our side, you'll probably still get to see them. However, we don't have as much content as the other ones because they're still adding it. Because I learned this with Sengoku Providence. What they do is pretty much they add content as we go along, even though the DMM side's probably got all of it from the get-go anyways. And then they'll take their time uncensoring some of the stuff too. Like, it's like this. Say we get another version of say we get another version of Thor later down the line, then DMM side will eventually send the uncensored one just to be a placeholder after we set up in no, they'll send the censored one to be a placeholder, and then the uncensored one will end up being the one we'll eventually have. Because like I said, I seen it with Sengoku Providence, because somebody ripped the Nutaku side when that was closing down. They also did the same thing with I think it was a game called Idol Wars Z, which pretty much was like Dragon Providence, only stuff was renamed. But yeah, that's the whole thing with that. It's like, we'll eventually get them uncensored. But for those who don't care about the censoring, again, I can post links to where I found that stuff, but since it's 18 plus, of course, I'm obligated to tell you, okay, yeah, don't click on it if you're not old enough, but quite frankly, I don't know how many people would listen to that anyways. Like I said, I'm obligated to say it, But should I deter you from it? Honestly, I don't know. Because me personally, I never really listened to that myself, so. And that's one thing I honestly had to say. It's like, I've I've known about, like, if you know about anime, if you know about any games like this, then you probably know about hentai at some point, so yeah. And I've started getting into anime when I was way younger, about 12, I guess. And now I'm like almost 30. But anyway, that's all I really got to say on that, and I've dragged this out long enough. As I said, try to get the retweets going as much as possible, because I get the feeling that that could possibly cut out some of the prizes we can get, because they're talking about additional rewards on top of what we get for the retweets. So I hope that doesn't cut it out. Just get our retweets just in case. As far as it goes with Kamihime Project, some point later on, either today or tomorrow, I'm going to end up doing the recording for the Ragnarok raid. So, because I haven't even gotten the magic jewels from it yet, actually. But that's all I really got to say at this point. And again, spread word about this game too, because even if you don't like the hentai stuff in it, which is understandable because a lot of them are questionable, just know that there's still two versions of the game. I have people watching these videos where they play the .com side, and there's others like me that play the .net. Same game, just you don't see as much scenes. But anyway, that's all I got for this, guys. I'm gonna keep grinding this stuff out. And as you could probably see too, I do get some dark communicals and all that too, but it does seem like they lowered the rates of when they appear. It was kind of overpowered, because I've gotten 7,000 experience points a few times. Now all of a sudden I don't seem to get anywhere near that. But yeah, that said, I'm going to keep grinding this stuff out. As you can see, I was very close to getting Tsukiyomi to level 75 already. And then I got other characters nearing their caps, like Brunhilde's near level 70. I might have already capped Soul by now. But that's the whole thing with that. I'm still trying to grind out and do things here. But anyways, that's all I really got for this video, guys. And like I said, more Kamihime going to come up soon. I really do plan on trying to record that Ragnarok fight, because I've tried it. It's interesting. Especially considering the fact that my team, as you can see, they can get a lot of health. But anyways, enough of this. I'm going to finish this off and then keep grinding because I don't have too much time. But anyways, guys, take care.